Hey guys, how you doing today? It's me, Kelly. So today we're gonna do kind of like a mixed media watercolor acrylic marker painting. And this is, I get asked a lot about using watercolor in your mixed media, and I thought this might be a fun way to kind of play and mix and simple enough that you can, if you're a beginner, you can do it yourself. And these are very easy products that you probably have at home if you have been playing with watercolor to do this. So I have here a piece of watercolor paper. Now, if you don't have watercolor paper, you can use your mixed media paper. Use whatever you have. Watercolor paper is good because it's made for, watercolor paint. But you can use, just regular sketchbook, printer, mixed media. Uh, what else is there? What other kind of paper is there? Bristol. I mean, you use what you have. But this is watercolor. And I have some watercolor paints. These are what I've been using. I have to go downstairs and get my Crayola ones, which I will. But for now, I'm just going to use these. These are Kuretake watercolors, and I really love these ones, but there are a million different watercolors you can use. It doesn't matter. You can also use marker, Crayola markers. And if you would be interested in a video of me showing you how you can use your Crayola markers to get a watercolor look or effect, let me know down below, and I will certainly do that. And so we're going to have watercolors, some acrylic paint, and a permanent marker. So let's get to getting. Now, like I said, watercolor paint, and I have water, and I'm just going to squirt some water all over my watercolor paper. Now, something that you can do is you can tape this down if you want. I'm not going to tape it down right now, but you definitely, you can if you want, because it might curl a little bit. Okay, and then I got my paints wet as well. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to take a bigger kind of brush. Now this is a oh gosh, what kind of brush was this? A Royal Gold 250 it says. This is a very old brush. And I'm going to wet it. And I'm going to go in with some colors just to put up here. I'm going to leave this bottom half. I'm not going to necessarily draw a line, but I'm going to work more to the top. And I'm going to go in with all my colors. I'm not going to worry too much about what I'm doing. And I'm going to you see how I'm doing? Just laying, just an easy, I hold it to bottom of the, or top, whatever way you're looking at it. But look how cool. And I think that's all that color I'm going to use. So I'm going to go rinse. And I'm not worrying about my water. My water was clean when I started, but, I'm just going to clean my brush and continue on. I'm going to go in with this dark red now. And I just put it on the tip. Not that big a deal. I must not be that wet there. There we go. There we go. Maybe I need a little more water. Okay. Pretty, pretty, pretty. Oh, I just love the way that blows out. Like I say bleed out, but that's not what it is. It blows out. Gorgeous, gorgeous. All right. Okay, so next, let's rinse this. And let's go into the orange. And kind of. And I don't, if I don't go all the way to the top, it's okay. I can always slice that to make it, straighter. And down further. Oh, yeah. All right, these up here need to be a little bit wetter. It's not spreading as much up there. There we go. And you can do it right next to one because it's just going to go into each other. It's going to be gorgeous. That's all the orange I'm going to do. But can you see my paper is kind of bowing up? a little bit. So if I had this taped down, it would be a lot, you know, better, but what are you gonna do? I already had wet it before. I'm just gonna go with the flow. All right. Now use colors that you see on, you know, with flowers. Yellow's gonna be a little difficult to kind of see. So I don't know about yellow. But if nothing else, it'll help break up the, you know, like the colors. I might just move them around a little bit. Give it a little bit of help. Yeah, just so we have some yellow. And I've showed you guys before how you can definitely, you know, if you don't want the yellow, you could suck this back up with your paintbrush. You know, you just keep going in with a clean, dry paintbrush, and you know, you can get a lot of that color back up, and you know, then proceed on with a different color. Now, I'm not going to do any green up here because green's going to kind of be down here. For what we're doing. So my next colors are going to be the blues and the purples. I'm going to go in with this lighter blue. And this is just a light, like periwinkle almost. Yeah. And just go. And again, you know, you might need some more. It dries very fast. Believe it or not. And what I'm going to tell you, now you can see how these are running together, how they get, and that's okay. If you don't like that, you definitely can dry the what you have already, and then, you know, kind of work some more, because this is like wet on wet. Of course, it's going to be reactivated when you add water to it with your wet brush, but it won't be as, you know, as wet and as flowy, which is okay if that's what you want. Now you can see there my blue is just not, some of these colors just don't want to work, you know, and flow the way I want them. So I'm just going to kind of keep tapping in and moving them to fill in some of the white spaces. And they will spread out on their own, you know, so, but definitely just gonna drag some in. And there's a lot of water sitting there, so I will drag it that way. Add some more water here, so it kind of, see, I'm sucking it up from here, and then I can add it wherever I want, just to add. You can add little middles. Look how cute. Do whatever you want. Oh, I love when they run into each other. That means life is good. Move around this so it has like a little yellow middle. All right, so here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna rinse my brush. I'm gonna dry my brush on paper toweling or whatever you have. And I'm going in and I'm gonna suck some of this up. I'm just gonna turn it. I'm gonna tap off some of that water. I'm gonna do it again, tap off some of that water. Roll it and get some of that water out of there. Look at that. See how that took all that water that was sitting there in a puddle up? Now go in and figure out what color you want. So let's see. What color are you? I'm just going to take a little bit of this on the tip and I'm going to test it. Okay, that's purple, because I've done it before where I've done black, and I don't necessarily want black on here. All right, I'm going to wet my brush a little bit more, kind of tap in some of that purple. Ooh, how pretty. Just dragging around. Maybe even put some in here where we have that extra, little bit of extra water. And kind of blend it around. And the reason you do, I'm doing it like this is I don't necessarily want to have, these are to be like abstract, right? Not necessarily when you walk out to a flower garden. You just want these colors. Now you can see they're running down and everything like that, and I love that because they just go on their own way. And that's what I'm like. I'm in my own world most of the time. I like to do my own thing and do it my way. So I kind of dig that they just run. Now up here I have another puddle, so I'm gonna go in the same as I did and just pull that water out the best I can. And it might be that my desk is, this is puddling up here. My desk might be a little leaning towards the back. Maybe the floor is uneven a little bit. Who knows? But it's just puddling there, and I don't want that. But you see how easy that just rolls. And I get that right off there. Now I can go in. I'm going to put in, I think, a little bit of the purple up here. And just kind of move it around. But I want this organic. I might not even use acrylic. I don't even know. But I don't necessarily want, the shape of a flower, if that makes sense. I want these to be my shapes. So I'm going to grab some of this because this is a lot of water here. Maybe move it down here a little bit. Now I'm going to take just a little bit of, just a little bit of green, different colors, and I'm going to kind of add them in. Up here, just a little bit, just to start. And of course the blue and yellow made green itself, so that's, like right there, that's fantastic. Maybe going with a brighter green, mix some of the colors. Oh, I love it. I love it. Now I know I'm going to add a little bit more red up here because you can see that it kind of ran, but I'm okay. I'm okay with that. This is about having fun and just let's do some abstract. Now I'm going to re-wet this down here a little bit. Okay, for now. And I'm going to go in. I'm going to wet my greens just one more time. I'm going to go in with all the greens that I have. All the greens in the world. And just, we're going to kind of do the same thing, but I'm going to dot it around a little bit. Because remember, they're going to run. And maybe I should rinse my brush. Now you can see I haven't rinsed my brush too much because I'm kind of just going with it. And you can play and scribble whatever you want. Because these are all going to run into each other, the greens. So just have fun. Might do this little teal green here and see. Yeah, just to kind of give it some. Oh, I love how that's running. And then spray just your greens because they're going to run. Okay, this is like a camo green. This is like a darker green to mix in there. And remember, at any time you can wet your brush and you can take a color out while it's still wet. And that's the fun with watercolor. I am not a watercolor artist at all, but I do have watercolor paints and I do use them in my mixed media. And, sometimes I sit and think, I really want to use my watercolors. I'm not a watercolor artist. What am I going to do? And I like to, sit and think, well, let me try this. And I know there's a lot of people out there like me who might not be able to do, I just can't do watercolor. I try, but I do add it in my mixed media and I do love it. So All right, so you see how these are all mixing together? Beautiful. Beautiful. But I can tell it must be warping here in the middle a bit because it's so wet, and that's okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go hit more red up here. I'm going to wash my brush off. I'm going to go get some more red and kind of, and that's going to run because there's a lot of water there. I'm going to get maybe another color and just darken some of this red up. Because with all the other colors, it did get a little blown out. And I got to watch because purple is my favorite color. And I have to watch that I don't over saturate with purple. So that's why I'm trying not to do too much purple. I'm going to add a little bit more orange in the orange spots just because I want to make sure I can take that around. You know, so now I'm just kind of touching up some. Like there's could use some color down here. And I think I'm going to do a little yellow. Some of the brighter yellow. Where was I? Oh my God, my life. Okay. Here it is. Yes, see now I can add some of this yellow in here. Here I was. Oh my gosh. Am I the only airhead in the world here? Sometimes I feel like it. All right, a little more water, a little bit more yellow. Taking it out here. And I can see how my green's running right there. Now I really love this. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pull this out real quick. I just have like a bottle sitting on it on the top, but I'm gonna kind of run this. Yeah, just so it doesn't necessarily. Okay, and then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take my brush again. And you can use whatever kind of brush you have. And I'm gonna roll it and just kind of pull some of this out. Because I don't want it to take 6 years to dry. And I am gonna dry it with my heat gun. And I'm gonna show you what I'm gonna do. All right, I'm gonna do one more. But yeah, if you want to get like into like really watercolor learning, the Frugal Crafter does, and I'm sure everybody knows who that is. The Frugal Crafter, she does fantastic watercolor. I watch them in awe because I just can't. And there's so many wonderful people on YouTube that do it. I am not one of them. I am somebody who plays and enjoys playing. Okay, so I'm gonna take my heat gun, and I just want to dry this a little bit. One of the things I like to do is I like to take paper and lay it on top to soak it up. Because there's a lot. Let me try. What the heck? What do we got to lose? Nothing. Let me grab another piece of watercolor paper. Or hey, I tell you what, printer paper would be great. I just don't have any sitting here. Printer paper would be great because it would suck it up, and you know. But I'm making. Oh gosh, I'm making another mixed media paper here doing this. So I'm gonna turn it, and I'm gonna lay it. And because this is watercolor paper, it will soak up. And I'm just gonna give it a quick tap. It's gonna help mix things in. And because it's watercolor, we can go back and fix something if we don't like it. So I really just want that to soak it in. Okay. Yeah, did exactly what I wanted. Oh, and I just got all over my shirt. But look how it picked up all of that green. Look at this, the great beginning. Now the only thing I'm going to pick up, and I could pick it up with my brush, but I'm going to pick up this color that kind of went poopy color. Because sometimes colors mix and, you know, you don't get pretty colors. But Honestly, I'm really lucky I didn't get many poop colors. A horrible thing to say, right? So then I'm going to take my brush one more time before I finish blowing it. And I'm just going to kind of pull it, these puddles, right down here. And then I'm going to suck this up because that did make an icky color. I'm not so much digging it. I'm going to put more yellow on it. Rinse my brush, dry my brush, grab some yellow. Let's get some yellow in here to take out most of that crap color. Okay. Yeah. There we go. Nice, nice, nice. And then pull some of this down here. Love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. And the green, I'm digging it. So now what I'm going to do is I'm not going to add too much more water, and I'm not going to finish drying it. I want to lay some darker green down just because a lot of the green came up, and I have a nice wash on the bottom of the greens. I'm just going to pull it this way, trying to get, you know, just a little bit of that going. But I want more colors. I love this dark. I love a little bit of the blue in here. So I'm going to go into more of my greens. I'm going to go, I really like that dark army green color a little bit. So I'm just going to kind of tap it in here. It's just going to kind of look like foliage. Is that right? Foliage? Foliage? Foliar? Yep. Leaves and stems. Leaves and stems. Some of this green. And just kind of go where the water is left on here. But, oh, I love this. You know what would be pretty if you threw some salt down on here. I'm not going to do that today, but if you wanted to take some salt and throw it on here so it absorbs the, because there's so many techniques you can use to do this kind of stuff, you know, and get different looks. Like I said, right now, I'm not going to do that. Now I wet my brush and I'm just going to pull some of this out to make it have just some spiky looking things coming out. And they'll go their own way. They'll float because they all float down here, you know. I'm sorry, that's a bad. Sometimes I think I'm funnier in my head. And that'll just give some little bit of direction when you look at it to, you know, just kind of have. Oh yeah, I love it. And then I want some of the blue. I'm gonna tap that around. Wet my brush a little bit. More. All right, a little bit more water added to these. So they spread out a little bit more. Okay, so now I'm going to pick one more. I'm going to pick the lighter green, I think, right here. I'm going to mix it with some yellow. And just for some, see how we're getting that real nice green color that I love? That yellow green, obviously yellow and green. And I just want some of that in here, and I can mix that and pull that through a little bit in here. I like the lighter, you know, the lighter parts too, but, and then you can even bring some of this lighter. Maybe you have some, you know, like I have some extra white up here that I don't know exactly what I'm going to do with, but I'm going to keep going up here just as my, you know, just to start my, Emily, let me see your hair.
I'm going to get dressed and straighten it.
Let me see, turn around. I'm sorry, we did Emily's hair today. Turn. I love it.
Yeah.
Oh, I love it. Okay, let me finish. I'm recording.
Okay, I love it. I'm going to get dressed and then I'm going to straighten it.
Okay. Oh, P, shut my door. I love it. Sorry, guys. I had to see her hair. Okay. All right. So now what I'm going to do, I'm happy with this. I'm not hating on it. I'm not going to put any more water to spread it. I think I like that solid. I think I'm cool up here. And what I'm going to do real quick is just dry this. Now again, I can put my, you know, I can put paper on it and lift up, but just to keep on keeping on, we're going to go. I just love this look right here is just, it's a background to me for mixed media paper, you know? And there's a million different ways. Like I said, you can do your acrylics like this. You can make your acrylics look like watercolor. So many things. And again, you don't want to have to worry about what kind of watercolor you have. Use what you have. If you only have watercolor markers, if you only have watercolor pencils, you know what I mean? It doesn't matter. You can achieve pretty much, you know, there, you would just have to get there in a different way. And that's fun. That's fun sitting and experimenting. And if this page is too long or too big for you, cut it in half and do it. Cut it in half and turn it the opposite way. Okay. I know that it's a little wet down here still, but I don't want to take too much of the color up. So I'm just going to kind of dab it for Angie because we do dabs. Dab it, dab it, dab it. Oh, yeah. Okay. So now here's what I want to do. You can do this with your paints. Okay. You don't have to do it with any type of marker. You could do it with your watercolor pencils would be fantastic, or your Derwent Inktense, all kinds of stuff. Now, excuse my arm because I should have grabbed this beforehand. I'm going to use a big Sharpie. Okay, you can use, you know, whatever you have. If you have your Faber-Castells, look, use whatever marker you like. It doesn't matter. This is not going to be a watercolor one, but again, use whatever you want. Now look in here and see, do you see any, you know, any flowers? And I'm doing black, but you can definitely do, again, whatever color you want. See, like to me, this looks like one of those flowers. And you don't have to do flowers. You can do faces, you could do shapes, you could do whatever you want, but this is like one of those flowers I have outside that are like, they're like fuzzy. You know what I'm saying? And we can go here, and this yellow can be the middle, and that can be the outside. Now remember, okay, I just laid my arm in. I'm gonna dry this green, don't worry. It's all over my arm. um you know, just kind of go and outline. Don't think too much, because when you think too much, what happens? You won't do it. Like, look how pretty. And then that middle. So if you do have different color markers that you want to use them. Here's another one. Here's a yellow flower with a blue middle. And then you can make your own middles too, little poppies. And you don't have to finish the whole shape of the yellow that's there or whatever colors that, you make it your own. You can add little, you know, it's almost like a little coloring book. Like the coloring books everybody likes to color in, the adult coloring books. It's kind of like you're doing your own, for yourself. Like this is an awesome, there you go. And it kind of has that middle, and then this little blue one, and a little dot. Where else? Now you can turn your paper this way. Now imagine if you're using a marker that is not permanent. And I don't think I have anything here. And when you go and your paper's still damp, how that's gonna, look pretty cool. See this right here? We have this blue middle and the yellow outside. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna just squirt it. Now I know it's gonna run some of the color, but I'm gonna go in with my marker and let's see if we get a little bit of a flow effect with the marker. It's not being that flowy. Nope. It's like I'm permanent and I'm just gonna quit working. All right, it's not exactly what I had in my mind, but okay. All right, not gonna worry about it. Did I just blow my marker up? There you go. And then you can even put a little inside and, I'll probably have to suck some of this up now. Now, if you had a watercolor, obviously watercolor marker or pencil, you would do much better than I just did with my Sharpie. But I think you're picking up what I'm putting down, right? And then she continues because she's wacko. Okay, so then, and like I said, when you turn it, you see so many different kind of things. And I kind of like that that's a little lighter. Not no big deal. All right. And you can kind of see what I'm talking about. And you can do whatever kind of flowers you want. Maybe here you want a rose, right? So I wouldn't be able to do it upside down. So here's another one like this that kind of came from there. Here's another blue one. And right here, I'm going to do, I think I'm going to do a rose. And it's just twirling and twirling and then going up like that. And then you can kind of pull it down here. Now, if you want, and remember, this is abstract. We're not going for realism here. You can start now, before you even pull some of the stems down, start doing some leaves. Like right here, I don't know how well you guys can see that, but there's, we're just kind of doing leaves and stems and shapes down here that are kind of, you know what I mean? Organically abstract. That's what I'm saying they're called. And just take your stems and just pull them down. You can pull them together if you want. Doesn't matter. And I see another red one here. I like doing the odd shape with the middle. Now that's finally working. And this is just having fun. This is, you know what? And this could be like a little, maybe a little petal that fell. I could go through here for hours and pick out different shapes and different kind of things, but I think you're getting what I'm saying. And you just keep playing, and you just make, maybe you want another rose here, and you just kind of make it, maybe you make it smaller. You want to put in different shapes of leaves or whatever, by all means. But the point is that throw these colors down, have fun, feel free, because a lot of us get stuck and we don't want to feel free, or we get nervous to feel free, or we don't know exactly what to do. And this, you see, we did the blues and the greens down here and the brighter colors. You could just do shapes, but do you see what I'm saying? And then this becomes, you know, a nice painting. And I kind of dig when there's white. You see how there's like white left underneath? It just brings, you know, some different shades and you know, when you look at it. So like I said, you can go on and on and on. And do all this, you know, and maybe up here you could see that it's a little like fuzzy. Maybe you're not real sure what it is, but you want to, you know, give it some shape. It doesn't matter. Now, that's pretty much it. If you are like me and sometimes, you know, I need to just, and this is one of those things. Lately, this is what I've been needing to do is, and you want to make sure, like, you know, take these down kind of off the page where they kind of connect in one place, just so it looks a little, but like I said, it's abstract. It really doesn't matter. But if you want to go in certain ones and lay down, maybe you want to lay some white down in some of these darker colors, just for like the middle. Maybe you want to add like some shapes going in this way. I shouldn't start these things because this is like my favorite part. It's just going in. And you can see I'm not doing it so opaque that it's going to blow you out of the, you know, blow it out of the water, or you lose that underneath. But you see how you're adding highlights and, like, you know, with this yellow, just a little bit of the highlight in the middle to make it a little brighter. Oh, 1 second. Oh, I love it. Yeah. I'll be out in a second because I want to see. I might need to cut that little bit again. Her hair looks so good. So you see what I'm saying? We're just kind of, you know, maybe you want a little bit more blue to, you know, accent something, or, you know, to add. It doesn't matter. Oh, I just love it. I love it. I love it. And like I said, very abstract, very, you know, you want to do some, maybe you want to make this a butterfly. Maybe that's what this is, right? And you kind of make that, you know, maybe that's the antennas. And then you can, yeah, I mean, like you can just go nuts. So that's what I'm putting up today. This is what I wanted to do. And I wanted to just be abstract and not have to think too much and not have to, you know, I just wanted to have fun. And that's what I did. So I figured I'd turn the camera on and do it. If you guys like this, please leave me a thumbs up. And if you're not already and would like to be, please subscribe. Click the subscribe button down below and the bell next to it so you can be notified when I upload, which is usually 5 to 6 times a week. Lately, it's I'm struggling this week. But I thought, like I said, I wanted to play, and that's what I figured I would do. And like I said, you can go in and just outline and do so much stuff and have fun. And if you do this, tag me. All my links are down below for my group on Facebook, everywhere. You guys know you can email me, send me your picture on Facebook. I love to see them. Tag me on Facebook. And I would love to see what you guys come up with. So, as always, please be kind to each other. You never know what battle somebody else is fighting. Progress, not perfection. That's what I love. And just a little something, something. When you're done, what you can do is then cut this into all kinds of pieces and then reglue it down as you're using scrapbook paper. So, you know, use it in mixed media or in your art journal or ATC card if you really don't dig it. So I'll see you guys in my next video. Please share me everywhere. I appreciate it. I love you guys so very much, and I will talk to you soon. Bye.